So while scrolling Facebook, I saw a very interesting video.
Sorry. Askis. How?
Not as much.
For position.
So
So the 6.
D10.
Yo, okay.
From a show on Moja, I didn't know about the show. I don't know what is it called. I will display it here. So the show basically has the same theme. You know, in South Africa, the biggest issue we have, it's ancestral and Sangoma beliefs, consultation of the dead through mediums that call themselves Sangomas, or that are called, for people that are outside, these people, they are called Sangomas. They are initiated into a close. And this initiation is what then creates this communication between them and anyone who is dead. Now, in other cultures, you won't find much of an initiation. You may find maybe a ritual that kind of embeds the person into the practice. But in this particular practice, in South Africa to be specific, a person goes through an entire ritual. I mean, like they have an animal killed over them in order for this to be done. For some people, they go through these rituals. They don't become Isangoma. They do not become a medium for people to speak to dead spirits through them. Okay, so the entire thing here, they look for both unbelievers and believers. With people who might be believers, there's a process of indoctrination because they are made to believe the ancestors are dead, so they are closer to God, so they can speak to you that way. And then they may get to the person that way, or they might say, for people who are not believers, they may say, no, that's not the case. These are just our ancestors, so we honor them and they want certain things done. And so now you have ancestors making demands on what your life should fashion or structure themselves as. So for people that are outside who might not understand what exactly is this. So these people are mediums that people go to consult. This particular show, I don't know if this lady is a sangoma. I don't know. It's like I said, I don't know the show. I don't know the lady. But I think she identifies almost as a medium. Okay, this is the cleaner version. There's no, bones being thrown. This person is just communicating or receiving information. She's a medium. Now, where the confusion comes with this specific belief is that if you check on Instagram, there's even post where she makes about God.
Season, pray a lot, believe in God, because anything is possible with Him. Connect more with God, and anything is possible, because each and every one of us have a gift within us. And take care of the inner child within us, and the rest shall follow.
And the rest shall follow. And that, of course.
And you see, so this is pretty much the same thing. It's the communication with the dead. It's the communication with spirits. It's the communication spirits multiple. Okay, that's what it is. It's still that. It's receiving messages from those who have passed on, or hearing. Because the thing is, it's very easy for someone who's a Christian to say, but what about prophets? What did prophets do? Isn't this what prophets did? And you will see why the canon was closed. The canon closed that man should not pursue this type of communication. It's important we understand why God made it this way. Is that there is scripture that He has given us that He communicates to us through. I'll get to that part in a second. But the mediums, which are becoming more popular to the black community, and with Moja Love doing this show, I guess the more people will go to that route, because it's much more easier. The goal here is to get you to fall for one. If you do not buy into the idea of the sangomas, the initiates, and the whole Nampa jazz, you will buy into the cleaner version, which is this. The goal is for you to fall into one. The spirits will give you variety. No, that's not it. You don't have to go there. You don't gotta kneel at a sangomas thingy. You'll sit at a table and you guys have a conversation. The question is, which one do you want? You want it served like this? You are still eating. You are still eating bacon, but eat bacon either kneeling down at a shrine, at a sangoma shrine, or eat bacon while sitting at a breakfast table. It's still the same. And this is how this gets pushed. This is how you see the devil is smarter than all these ideas people have. Smarter than all these ideas, because you will expect him in Dumbe. So he comes with a person who says they're medium. They communicate with spirits, so they get messages. They have an angel that says Jesus, God, a little bit of here, a little bit here. No, I don't think she says anything, Jesus. But even if she does, that's not the point. The point is she's a medium. A medium communicates with spirits. A medium communicates with spirits. It's still the same thing. It's the same practice. And that's the thing that people don't realize. They do not realize the devil is smart. If he won't get you to go as low as Indumba and talking to ancestors and dead people that way, he'll have you speaking to spirits. He'll have you speaking to spirits, and a medium communicate through. Now we can talk about the other things in this episode, which I think are very interesting. It's the rejection, the way the church point he brings up. So the book of Luke has a story of Lazarus and the rich man. And this story is very important in the Bible because it's the only story that most people say it's a parable, unless you can see clearly. It's the only story where he gives a person a name. In the other stories, there is no name. In this one, there's an identifier. There is a name attached. And the name Lazarus, it's very regional to that particular Middle Eastern culture of that period in Israel. So that's why many people say, no, this might be a real story. And the fact that he uses real characters in the story, it's not random. Why would he make up all of that? So I lean on that part as well, that it is using certain names, using real biblical things and real individuals. So he's not making up the story. He doesn't say it's a certain king. He says it's Lazarus. And there is Abraham. And there is the culture of Jewish practice that is spoken about there, pertaining inheritance left over to the parents, through the older brother to the younger ones, and the responsibility of that, and communication with family members. And the rich man is restricted. He's told they have the prophets and they have the scriptures. Let them hear them. And so it is very clear how God communicates. First is the scripture. Even Hebrews chapter number 1, when it starts, it says, we're going to get to the Moja laugh. Even Hebrews, God, who in sundry times and in diverse manners spoke in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, past times, has in this day spoken unto us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. And then he talks about the expressed image, that the Son is the expressed image. So he tells you why he has appointed that we should hear everything through him. So through the scriptures, we have an understanding. So God has appointed a way for us to be communicated to. And so he's not going to divert now, use your ancestors. It does not use your ancestors for communication. The story of Lazarus states that, this verse states that it's not in God's model to using that. So this episode that you are seeing here a person is consulting this lady, and immediately they bring up all the consultation issues, whatever they're consulting, and then the person mentions the subject matter of a church. What about the issue of the church? And that spirit would not have him go any further into that explanation. Why do you think is the case? Because if a person even taps into the idea of church, if they pursued it hard enough, some people, they pursue it and they stop. If they pursued it hard enough, they're going to find the truth. That spirit would not have that. It would not have you think of church in any form, shape of, because you might go there and pursue it hard enough that it becomes. I mean, when I was in high school, a girl I was dating at the time said, "Hey, Ricky, please go to church because you are bothering me with these visits on Sunday." You know? And so would meet in town and would just be, walking around, because town on Sundays, it was very empty. It was very nice to sit. You could sit at the library thingy, overlooking the city and so forth. You need to go to church, because by that time I wasn't. And so I go in there. I didn't just attend. I went all in. Okay? I went all in. I mean, like, I wasn't just a Sunday guy. I was now thinking about coming on the Wednesday prayers, coming on Bible study Mondays and Thursdays, Youth Friday, Saturday preparation prayers, join the ushering team Saturday to prepare for the church service on Sundays. And so before you know it, man's doing this, man's doing this, man's studying, all these things. Why? But where did it start? It started on that day when she said, "I think you should go to church." And if you're going to church, you wouldn't be here meeting you on Sundays. And so what ends up happening is I got all the way in. That's what that spirit would not have this guy do. He would not have you attempt or even think about. Because if you attend a church and you go to one of these song churches, there's no emphasis on doctrine or anything. What ends up happening is that over time, someone might say, "But that's not a church, Someone might wake the person up and say, "That's not a church." So first thing we have to understand is God does not use that model of communication. That's the first thing. And then understand, why would it be a problem for the person going to church? It will be a problem because at least the person goes further enough, they'll be driven away from these beliefs. That's why that spirit would not have that communication. That's why that spirit will not allow that man to even finish that sentence. There's a root reason. Because you might be that person who goes in there and you pursue it hard enough. Which is what I encourage everybody. You gotta study. Read. Question. Put off the TV for a second and just spend a little bit time, study. If you haven't, you've seen our WhatsApp numbers, all right? WhatsApp us and I will send you our discipleship classes so you know where to start in your pursuit of that. This is why that spirit would not have it. In case you were wondering, why wouldn't that spirit allow him to even think about church? Is if you go in there, they know you might not come back.